Vietnam is booming right now. It's all the rage. Everyone's talking about it. It's the most popular destination in the world. And after spending some time there, I can confidently tell you that I prefer living in Malaysia. Now, of course, I have to give credit to Vietnam. It's an incredible country. But for me, Malaysia just suits my personality so much better. There's a huge difference between the cultures, even though they're close together. First of all, I'm not going to deny Vietnam is an incredible place. It's very fun. It's very exciting. It's growing and developing very fast. And I would say it's the most stimulating country I've ever been to. The lights, the smells, everything just punches you in the face as soon as you land. Jab. But the problem with that stimulation is it's not necessarily something you want consistently over the long term. That can lead to burnout. Constantly dodging scooters, like your life actually does depend on it. Sometimes you need to be able to relax, you need to be able to breathe. And that's where Malaysia is much more preferable for me. Number one, Malaysia, the atmosphere, the vibe, whatever you want to call it, the ambiance is so much more relaxed. Even in Kuala Lumpur, which is a huge metropolis, it feels way more relaxed and chilled out than Saigon and Hanoi. Sometimes the city centre in Kuala Lumpur feels more relaxed than the suburbs of Dalat, as funny as that sounds. In Vietnam, of course, the energy is addictive, but it can get draining after a while. Sometimes you don't want to get run over by a motorbike. Crossing the street just to get a pastry in the bakery can be challenging. Even in busy places, Malaysia just doesn't have that intensity. Also, in Vietnam, you'll experience more culture shock. Now, of course, we want to travel to broaden our horizons, to experience new culture, but to actually live in a new place with a totally contrasting culture, that makes it incredibly difficult. And Vietnam, as someone said to me in the comments, is much more like China than the rest of the other Southeast Asian nations. More like China, Japan, and Korea, I would say, in cultural wise. The language is very difficult. The bureaucracy is even worse. And I found some of the unspoken rules in the culture hard to pick up on. Not only did I not understand them, I didn't even know what they were. Malaysia is just so much more easier to integrate. Whereas in Vietnam, I felt like an outsider looking in through a pane of glass. In Malaysia, I feel more part of it. People speak English. The local language is easier to pick up. The culture is diverse. There's a huge mix, so it feels much more welcoming. Sometimes in Vietnam, I just felt like a guy who was getting in the way of everyone else's life. Okay, number three, the food in Vietnam is incredible, but Malaysia just takes the absolute piss. The food you can get here, the vast array of food is what makes Malaysia stand out for me. Malaysia is probably my favorite food, definitely my favorite food in the world. Malaysian food. You have the mix of Indian, Chinese, Western food, Malay food, obviously, some fusions. Everything you can get here is world class and it's never boring. Vietnam has great food, but it feels repetitive after a while. I wasn't as excited to try the things over and over again. In Malaysia, I never feel bored wondering what I'm going to eat. Now, a lot of people move to Vietnam because it's cheaper, but I really don't believe in going to a place just because it's cheap. I want the best quality that I can get for the best price. And even though Vietnam, I would say, is much cheaper, a good bit cheaper than Malaysia, the quality of life you can get in Malaysia. Really, Malaysia is a first world country in disguise as an up-and-coming country, whereas Vietnam is really an up-and-coming country. For me, you just get more bang for your buck in Malaysia. Things work smoothly. I can get a SIM card, no problem. I can get everything I want. Vietnam, I found certain things difficult to get, namely creatine. Life for me is just easier in Malaysia. Okay, the next one is the people and social life. Now, don't get me wrong. The Vietnamese people are very kind, very hardworking, and the young people are incredibly smart and driven. But it really takes a long time to get to know people. The culture is far more reserved than Malaysia. It can feel really cold at first. It's more normal to just stay quiet and stoic. And if I'm being truthful, sometimes when you go into places it feels like you're at a funeral. Whereas Malaysia is way more relaxed. People are more inclined to joke around. It's less serious. I would say Vietnam feels very serious for me. I'm not, if you know me well, you probably know I'm not that serious. In Vietnam, you have to work really hard to break through the cultural barrier. It's not easy. If you love Vietnam, you have the incentive to do it. But for a lot of people on the fence, they just won't. They just won't have the will to do what it takes to live there. Malaysia just feels more open, more free. I feel like I'm more at home here. And it's much easier to make friends in Malaysia. I felt lonely sometimes in Vietnam. Okay, both Malaysia and Vietnam I would consider as very safe countries. But there's definitely a difference in day-to-day comfort. In Vietnam, I was always aware of the traffic. I'm not even joking, but I nearly got run over a few times. The closest I've been to being killed on the road is Vietnam, and it happened more than once. I never settled in Vietnam. I found it hard to relax. Now, I know some people definitely don't feel the same as me for this, but that's just my experience. I felt a bit on edge all the time. There was always something going on. Whereas in Malaysia, I feel way more relaxed. As soon as I landed, I felt relaxed in Malaysia. I felt that I belonged here more. And look, even though there's scams in every country, the scams are kind of different. I feel like it's easier to get scammed in Vietnam. In Malaysia, there's a lot of crypto scams and trading scams, but if you're kind of clued into it, you won't get dragged into that. Vietnam, there are some things like dodgy ATMs. Some people will be brazen enough. I would say that if someone is very friendly to you in Vietnam, don't trust them at all. They're definitely scamming you. So in Malaysia, I'm not as hyper vigilant. I'm not as worried. Even though, look, I didn't get scammed, so I can't say it's bad, but it's just the threat is there. So yeah, look, why Malaysia wins for me boils down to pretty much sustainability. Vietnam is very fun, very exciting, an incredible tourist destination. But for me to live somewhere long term, I need something more realistic and feasible. If you're a hustle and bustle type, an entrepreneurial spirit, you love the fast pace of living, you love chaos, then Vietnam might suit you. But if you're more relaxed, if you're more laid back, then definitely Malaysia will suit you more. I would say to settle down, to integrate, to build a routine, and you have a balance of all your creature comforts, the Western convenience. You understand what's going on here. Malaysia just hands down wins it. Vietnam was great, but I didn't know what was going on ever. So yeah, that's my take. My honest experience. I know a lot of you won't agree with me. And look, if you really love Vietnam, I'm not going to try and take that away. Just know for the beginner or for someone who's on the fence, Vietnam is much more difficult than people say. And if you love Vietnam for some reason, or you've fallen in love with a Vietnamese woman, then you can make a go of it. If you haven't, if you don't meet those requirements, you might not have the incentive to make it work. And I would say Malaysia is just so much more easier for you. So yeah, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you're serious of moving to Asia, you want the full course, everything I know, check out the Move to Asia blueprint in the box below. That was a nice rhyme there. Didn't mean that, but anyway, that's a great plug. Check it out. See if it suits you. Also, check out the Ultimate Asia ebook. Oh, check out the Move to Malaysia starter pack. That's the one. I put all the information you need to know in the PDF. Yeah, everything to get you started, everything I know. Check out the free Move to Asia cheat sheet in the box below. Quick overview of all the countries. Check it out, see which one suits you. That's it, guys. That's all I've got for you. It's been enjoyable. Vietnam is great, but Malaysia really feels like home. I consider it a home base. So, yeah, you know my take on it, guys. Oh, yeah, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. I need all the help I can get here. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, all right. going to the gym.